Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Through the Fire and the Small Business Network podcast. I am your host, Ryan Wickline, and today we have a very, very special guest, the founder and CEO of the Academy of Motive Action, Irina Alexander. Hi, Irina. How are you doing today?
Hi, Ryan. I'm fantastic. How are you?
I'm doing great. Well, thank you again for coming.
Absolutely.
I looked at your backstory and I was like, wow. So, what most of the audience is probably wondering, who is Irina Alexander?
I'm just a human being like all of us. I mean, we all have titles and this and that, but I appreciate that and respect that. But at the end of the day, I'm just a human being as you are. And we have a tendency to look up to people with the big titles and big names, but we're all the same and we can achieve beautiful things. So I'm a mom, I'm a business owner, serial entrepreneur, investor, speaker, but mostly do my best to be a good human being.
Awesome. So you classify yourself as a serial entrepreneur. What exactly does that mean?
I've ran and owned several businesses in a very different industries.
Can you give us some background on some of that?
My very first business was a woman boutique store. And then the real big girl business was a heating and air conditioning company. And one of the businesses now is the training company, the Academy of Motive Action.
Nice. So you've been in a male-dominated industries pretty much, besides maybe the boutique and everything. So what sort of challenges have you faced?
It depends. If we're talking about HVAC business and being foreign, being fairly young, people have their assumptions, right? So they look at you and when you ask what you do, you say, I'm in a HVAC business, heating and air conditioning. And they ask, what do you do there? Do you do marketing? Does your husband, fix AC and you just run marketing or do sales or answer the phone? So there is a lot of misconception or assumption that people have when they don't know you, or just people don't trust you because the way you look.
Yeah, I can definitely see that in a lot of ways. Like I worked in the construction industry for a while. I was like, you don't see too many women out there.
Absolutely.
So what did you learn from some of these experiences then?
What makes you different makes you unique, and what makes you unique makes you memorable. Because there's hundreds and thousands of guys, construction workers or business owners, male, older, probably in their 50s and 60s and so on, and they're kind of all the same. And what I realized that what makes me different actually made me memorable. And that's how I was able to successfully build my business. I did not hide from it. It's like, hey, this is who I am. This is what I do. And I was very confident.
That's some great advice for other people, be you.
Be you, absolutely.
So what led you to walk away from these business endeavors and look into NLP?
It was a burnout. I started business when I was 6 months pregnant with my second daughter. I ran business through having two kids under the age of 3. In 2 years, I reached top 1.6% of all women-owned businesses in America. And with that kind of success, and I don't know how to fix AC. I know how to run business, but I don't know how to fix AC. You won't see me climbing in the attics and fixing it. But with that success came burnout. And I was miserable. I was drinking too much. I was gone a lot. I was working 60 to 80 hours a week. I was building business and at the cost of my physical and mental health. And one day enough was enough. And I just took off. And when I came back, I was like, I don't want to do it anymore. It's not worth it. So that the burnout became my stepping stone into something different.
Can you explain what NLP is to the audience?
NLP stands for Neuro Linguistic Programming, which is, once again, a bunch of fancy words, and people are like, great, so what that is? And it's simply said is the language of your brain, language of your mind. Your brain doesn't come with manual, but we use and utilize it. We have thousands and millions of thoughts running through our head every single day, and it affects our behavior. So how we can fix what's here in order to create the result and outcome we're looking for.
Nice. So does hypnosis kind of come into play with that too?
Yes, hypnosis is part of it as well. NLP is a big umbrella for a lot of things, from hypnosis to timeline therapy to anchoring to many other tools and techniques.
How did NLP help you change your life and help you overcome your burnout?
Well, I just dived into the personal development and growth and, turned it into NLP for personal reasons, right? I wanted to be better. I wanted to be a better mom, better spouse, better friend, better human being. And I didn't know what to expect. I didn't come with any expectations. And it just helped me to reflect and highlight the things that might not be working in my favor. And a lot of us, we're on an autopilot, or we do what we think needs to be done, and so on. So it just helped me to zoom out and look through a different lens on my personal life and our overall bird eye view on everything that was happening, and ask the good questions. Does it help me? What is the purpose of that?
So you kind of had to shift your perspective on things.
Absolutely.
So you started the Academy of Motive Action. Can you explain what that is to the audience?
Academy of Motive Action is a neuroscience-based training company. So we train, at this point, high-stress professionals. And anybody and everybody probably in our world can associate with the word high stress. So it started as when I finished NLP, I traveled for about a year and trying to figure out, okay, I know people use it in therapy, but nobody's using it in a real day-to-day life and application, or in businesses, or improving sales and so on. So I first came back into the business community, and people like, you changed. I want to be like you. So I started helping entrepreneurs, business owners to become better, whatever that better for them is. And then it led to more corporate clients and first responders. So we train on resiliency, on communication, self-mastery. We go and train our physical body. What we do is more of a mental fitness.
Yeah, I love how you said everybody's noticed the change in me and they wanted it. Mm-hmm. Can you kind of explain how you get your clients to overcome resilience, or to overcome adversity and build resilience in them?
Resilience becomes a byproduct. A lot of people sell training as a resilience training. What we believe and do is resilience is a byproduct of all the other things that you can learn. And first and foremost, it comes from awareness and acceptance, right? You need to become aware of what's happening, and you need to actually acknowledge, not to deny it, but say, hey, yes, it is happening. My relationship is our failing, or my communication is not good, or why like every single person I'm hiring are having such a hard time. They're all assholes and they don't do what I'm telling them to do. When like one time can be a glitch, but if it's 2, 3, and 5, maybe time to look in the mirror and say, hey, maybe I'm doing something that is not working. And so, getting that awareness, realizing what are the actions that we are doing and not serving us, and then making a decision to change that, and being highly aware. Because like I said, a lot of people run on autopilot. There's something happening and they immediately react or act to it. What we teach and train is to create a space to make a decision. How do you want to behave, and will that behavior create the results that you are looking for? And that builds also resilience, because then other whatever happens in your life, nothing will knock you down, because you'll prepare and have a behavior flexibility to act certain way to overcome it. It's not going to be like, hey, I'm going to do this and only this, and you kind of have like a horse with the blinders on. No, you'll be able to see other options and have that behavior flexibility to change and overcome it way easier.
Yeah, I like how you touched on being self-aware enough to know that you're probably the problem in a lot of the circumstances in your own life, and then understanding that you need to be flexible and realize that there's more than one way to overcome things.
Absolutely.
Your company has developed a CARES approach. What exactly is that?
CARES approach, and I kind of mentioned a little bit of awareness and all of that. It's all part of the CARES approach. It is a program that was created originally for first responders, so police, fire, and focusing on building resiliency, communication, self-awareness, emotional intelligence, emotional literacy, we call it, once again, to overcome the byproduct of high stress professions, high stress situations that people are going through. And then people, corporate entrepreneurs, is like, hey, if you can deal with SWAT teams and first responders that see horrible things on day-to-day basis, then you probably can help us as well. So in that program, transition into school districts and corporate.
Yeah, I completely agree with the people on that message, that if you can help like SWAT members and first responders, I'm sure you can help some school teachers and some like executives.
Absolutely.
What kind of services do you provide?
So we fall under umbrella of coaching and training. And so what we mostly do, we do a keynote speaking, workshops, or team training, leadership training. So those are pretty much main things that we do in services we provide. And sometimes we do individual coaching as well, or mentorship.
Okay. What does purpose mean to you, and why do you think so many people don't have one?
Purpose mean to me? Well, I can't speak for everybody, and it's such a high marketing word. What's your purpose? And I think it changes as you go through life, and the more you discover about yourself. Purpose to me is the highest value in life. What is the purpose of life? What are you valuing the most? Why are you here? So, and I do believe it changes as you go, as you mature. What was important to me, maybe 20 years ago is very different to what I value and important to me now. And it's okay, because, if you're not growing, if you're not changing, you all heard that you're dying. So it's okay to change. A lot of people's like, oh, you changed. And I was like, is it a bad thing? We all change, and it's normal. Thankfully, I've changed. Would be strange that I would be still with my knowledge and everything, as I was 20 years old.
Yeah, I completely agree on that. Like, we definitely need to keep growing, and I feel like our why definitely changes at times too. That as we grow, we're called to do something else. Like, I mean, look at your path. I mean, you went from owning an HVAC business to now helping other people. So you grew along that path to serve more people. Like each season has its own purpose for you.
Absolutely.
What advice would you give to someone that doesn't know their purpose and wants to discover it?
I don't believe one shoe fits all. Despite those programs where it's like, follow this step by step and you will get exactly what I got. I call it BS because we're all different. What I do would advise is, if somebody inspires you, if somebody has what you want or something interests you, get into those circles, talk to those people, see what sparks your interest, what brings light and joy into your life. I think a community and overall interesting people, you can learn a lot from them. So doing your best to get in a room with interesting people might help you grow and realize what's your true why and purpose.
That's some great advice. I love how you talk about community, like other people inspiring you. And like, I've learned along the way that usually it's the other people believing in you that gives you permission to go do something great.
Absolutely. Be very conscious who you surround yourself with.
Yeah, because a lot of times, I mean, I know from my own perspective that I didn't believe in myself to go accomplish certain things. I need other people to believe in me before I actually built that confidence to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes it happens, and it's nice to have a support system who believes in you. And sometimes you might not have it with your friends or family, and having that community or people you might not know well, but they still want to support you in your journey is extremely important.
Yeah. So you consider yourself a dance aficionado. How important is having a hobby as a release to avoiding stress and being able to unwind?
Once again, that's something that changed over the years. When I was in my hustle mode and running business, I didn't have any hobbies. Hobbies, like what? What do you mean? I work 24/7. And now this is the lifestyle I promote, is absolutely having a hobby, having something where you can turn off your brain and not to think about work is extremely important. uh, Whatever brings joy into your life, do that. That is extremely important, and it helps to fulfill your cup, so then you can go and do your best and be the best version of yourself. So I truly believe it's important.
Okay. So what kind of dance do you like to do?
I actually do a little bit of everything. At a certain point of life, I did ballroom Latin dances. So everything, cha-cha, rumba, salsa, bachata, all of that. And this year I'm focusing on country. So it's a two-step, it's a West Coast swing. So swing, a little bit of tango, a little bit of, gosh, what, one step, you name it. So I like to keep my mind busy of learning new things.
I like it. Sounds like you're kind of a jack of all trades when it comes to dancing too. Like
Just
you
a
want to
little
try it
bit.
all.
Yeah, I have fun, and that's what's important. It's not about perfectionism. It's just about truly having fun. And that serves me. That's what brings me joy.
I like it. What motivated you to become an inspirational speaker?
Uh, I wasn't planning on it. Let's be serious. I always love to teach, and I wanted to be a teacher when I was in high school. So, but I also knew that I didn't want to teach kids. I always knew I wanted to teach adults. So it only took me 30 plus years to get to that point of figuring out, and that's what I do now. I teach adults. So I would say it was the childhood dream that now became a reality. And what motivates me, I think, is people's result, because I'm very result driven. And a lot of when you come to coaching and motivation, it's just a lot of rah and things like that. And those are great. But what really matters to me is people over the years share their results and what happened after the training, after the speech, and so on. I think that's what drives me, knowing that created real transformation and positive result in their lives.
Nice. I completely agree. I mean, I think personal development and like developing people is such a like an amazing calling you can have.
Thank you. It's definitely, and I'm not perfect, to be honest. Like, I am still work in progress. And I am very transparent and honest about it. I love how Tony Robbins says, I'm not your guru. I'm not, but I am. Also, that's what helps me connect with people, is sharing my personal story and how I've done it, overcome it, and what I have overcome. I think it brings me down to their level and also shows them that if I can do it, you can do it too. I'm not putting myself above other people and saying, hey, I figured it all out. No, I don't believe I would be here if I all figured it out.
So, what's your biggest challenge in that industry?
Biggest challenge. It's a curse and a blessing that the industry overall doesn't have any regulation. So everybody can call themselves a coach or trainer or whatever that is. So there is no certification standards. There's nothing like that. It's very unregulated industry. And while it gives the flexibility, it also creates a lot of, I don't know, 1-year coaches or whatever you want to call them. Every other person can easily call themselves a coach. And then, you start equal. People think, oh, it's kind of like a salesman, right? Car salesman. Everybody now a coach. They haven't figured it out. So they're going to coach others to figure it out, things like that. So that's definitely been interesting to see people training or coaching or educating others that have not reached certain levels themselves. So that's, and then that kind of sprinkles to other people as well, where people start looking at you with a skepticism. So that's one. So, and I guess it's competition in a certain way. While not a lot of people do exactly what we do, we are pretty unique in that situation. And also overcoming the old stigma of certain things. Because we work a lot with vulnerability and safety and having a conversation, being able to open up. And in an old generation, a lot of times it's being seen as a weakness. So that's a challenge, I guess, we are overcoming as well.
Nice. So, what's the most rewarding part for you then?
I think I did mention it already, is the results that people receive. That definitely keeps me going, knowing that, hey, you saved my marriage, or we've saved a relationship with my significant other and my son, or hey, I just closed $1.6 billion deal. It's just things like that. When they keep coming and results you hear from people, you're like, oh my God. Thank you for sharing. Where I got a message, I think it was last year. One of my clients, they bought a lake house, and he was like, I just want to let you know we just closed on a lake house. And that would not be possible if it's not for you. And that's a goal I set at our last training. So just things like that definitely, to me, is the most rewarding.
Yeah, it sounds like the best part is like watching them succeed beyond what they ever thought possible.
Absolutely. Helping them big dream and go after it.
Yeah, because a lot of it's getting them unstuck out of their own mind and get them out of their own way.
Yep. We are our biggest enemies and obstacles.
Yes. How important has personal development and upgrading your mindset been for you on your journey?
That helped me get where I am now. So I would say it's number one, but it became already a lifestyle and part of me. So it's just, like I said, part of me. It's not separate. It's not something that I need to do that. It's now, part of me on my cellular level is of always working on myself and figuring out where else I can improve and be better.
What is one book you'd recommend for personal development or mindset?
Oh, there's so many in every level of development. You are ready for a different book. So the books I'm reading now, people might might not like and enjoy, but if you are, what is gosh, I have so many that which one would be the most beneficial? I mean, Chris Voss, Never Splits the Difference, very practical, tactical on language. That is great. The belief system is the body keeps the score. If you want to see how your mind affects your body and your physical health, there's just I personally love the Flower of Life series. That is definitely not for everybody, but if you're interested in secret geometry and something there is more in this world and you believe in energy, that's a great book. And honestly, as cliche as it sounds, but Bible is a great book. Despite on your belief system, this year I've decided to read the Bible, not because of my belief system, but I'm just very curious because, I can argue both ways, but I want to really know. And then I would want to read the Quran and things like that. So going back to the basics, kind of like learning history. If you have enough knowledge, you probably can predict the future because the human behavior and human interaction is just fascinating.
Yeah, I agree with the Bible because you go look at some of like the main people in leadership, like John Maxwell and all that, and some of the other people. I mean, they all tell you that the Bible will direct you, and like it just shows you how like people interact with each other, and like how you should treat people, and like how you should just live
Absolutely.
your daily life.
Yes. So, like I said, it doesn't come from a belief system or religion. It comes from the basic human interaction, like you mentioned, and the humanity for each other.
What are your short-term and long-term goals?
Short-term goals is definitely getting the business more well-known, getting more long-term contracts, some government contracts. That is definitely a long-term. Oh, short-term, and the long-term, it will be, I want to travel more. I love traveling. So figuring out hiring more people, trainers, and then figuring out and traveling, 3 to 6 months out of the year. I would love to go maybe to Argentina and live there for 3 months and learn Argentinian tango there. And for my kids to explore the history and learn the language and, then go to Europe. And instead of learning history in the books, go and climb those rocks and learn, hands-on the history of countries and experience the culture. That's my long-term goal.
I love it. I love it. I think traveling the world and like actually seeing what's in the books is like a great experience. How can people get a hold of you?
Visit our website, motivaction.academy. It has all of our social media links, and from there you can find us in any and all platforms. But our website is the best resource, motivaction.academy.
Okay. Is there anything that we haven't covered that you would like to talk about?
I think we covered it pretty much all. You asked great questions and allowed me to be me and speak from the heart.
Well, that's what it's about, is just showcasing what everybody's overcome in their life and to show people that everybody goes through something. And it's what we take from it that kind of, how do I say, shapes us and molds us into the people we are.
Absolutely. And, if you know that after 5 no's or 10 no's, there will be a hell yes that will change your life forever, how fast would you want to get those no's? Right. And so never let the no or some setback or what you consider failure knock you down. Just keep going. Make sure to process it. Make sure that not like, push it down and move on, but make sure that you acknowledge what's happening, acknowledge your feelings, work through it, and then keep going. So we all, doesn't matter what the social media, the beautiful picture it shows, we are all human beings and we all going through hard time at a certain point in life.
I completely agree. Final question. What is one piece of advice you'd like to give the audience about overcoming adversity?
Well, interesting enough, I think I just answered that. Is to choice, change, action. You need to choose to change and then take inspired action. Nothing is gonna change unless you choose to change and then take inspired action. So whatever is happening, whatever is not working, acknowledge it, figure it out, look at the mirror, face the truth, and state it. Then think what needs to be changed and then go take action, because meditating on it, crying on it is all great, but nothing will change until you start taking action. Consistent, inspired, persistent, not just motivational actions, but actually discipline action forward.
Great advice. I would like to thank you, Irina, for coming here today and sharing your insight. I mean, I think you have an amazing backstory of what you've overcome and like where you're headed.
Thank you. I appreciate being here.
Well, guys, that's going to be all the time we have here today. Remember, the only way to get what you want is go through the fire.